and welcome to the Retro Movie Talk Show. I'm your host Nick Peters, and this is a series about all those weird videos that you used to get in the 80s and 90s when the blockbuster had been already hired out by someone else because they only had 3 copies, and you ended up having to look around the sci-fi or horror section of the video shop, looking at the covers and knowing that some of these videos promised a lot but didn't actually deliver. Now me myself, I was a big horror film fan when I was a kid. I used to make my own horror films on my own. I was very big into special effects and gore, so these kind of films I really love. A lot of the copies I had to see back in the day were cut. There was a lady back in the day called Mary Whitehouse, and she used to put a lot of pressure on the BBFC to ban films, things like The Life of Brian, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now we're really in a very good position where I can re-watch these films with all these bits put back in, fully restored. So on this week's episode, we're looking at a 1986 classic called From Beyond. Now this film is about a group of scientists who have developed the Resonator, a machine which allows whoever is within range of it to see beyond normal perceptible reality. But when the experiment succeeds, they are immediately attacked by terrible life forms. It had a great cast of people: Jeffrey Combs, it had Terry Sorel, and it also had Barbara Crampton. Now there's a scene in this, it's starring her, and you'll know the one I mean when you see it, that burned into my brain when I was a kid, and you'll see why. So the plotline of the movie goes like this. Dr. Pretorius and his colleagues are working on a sensational experiment by means of stimulation of the pineal gland. They want to open the human mind to higher dimensions. When the experiment succeeds, however, they are immediately attacked by terrible life forms which apparently are floating around us all the time. When Dr. Pretorius is killed by one of them, his assistant, Dr. Tillinghast, is under suspicion and thrown into a psycho ward due to his stories. Only the ambitious psychologist, Dr. McMichaels, believes him and wants to continue the experiment. So every week in this show, we're also going to tell you 5 facts you may or may not want to know about the film. Fact number 1, the Resonator sound was actually sampled by the Beastie Boys and used in the track Intergalactic. Fact number 2, the street address is 666. Ooh. Fact number 3, Dr. Pretorius's character is named after Dr. Simitus Pretorius, Henry Frankenstein's former teacher who seduces Henry to the dark side. Fact number 4, studio executives opposed the casting of Barbara Crampton as Dr. McMichaels because they thought she was too young to be believable as a psychologist. Hey, the 80s, weren't they sexist? And fun fact number 5, the H.P. Lovecraft story it was based on is only 7 pages long. Also in the Retro Movie Talk Show, every episode will have a look at the goofs in the film, but seeing as it is the 80s and there's a lot of special effects that are practical and they didn't really have the budget, there's quite a few things that are overlooked. So in this goof you can see the visible machinery in the rig holding up Dr. Edward Pretorius' monster puppet, and you can see it behind the puppet. So I f***ing love this movie. The special effects I think still stand up. The acting's really hammy, but I love that about these kind of films. And the good thing about this film is if you like it, there's also Reanimator, there's also Bride of Reanimator, there's also Castle Freak, and they're all made by the same sort of team that made this one. So if you love this, we'll be reviewing these films later on in this series, so we can go check those out as well. So guys, thanks very much for watching this episode of the Retro Movie Talk Show. Please add your comments down below. I'd love to know what you think of the film, and hit subscribe because I may be talking about some films in the series that you may not know about and you might enjoy them. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.